Hello and welcome to the Kopala TV main news. And now for today's headlines. Government urged to clear the 1 billion kwacha debt owed to local pharmaceutical firms. Economist discourages government from borrowing. GBM insists on Kambwili going back to the PF. And Chimwemwe constituency receives over 1,000 bags of relief milli meal. Join us in a bit after this. To present the news in detail, my name is Wabwila Musongole. Government has been urged to clear all the outstanding debt it owes local pharmaceutical firms. Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia President Jerome Sikanyika has disclosed that government owes local pharmaceutical firms. Mr. Sikanyika said this in an interview with Kopala TV.
Today we had the economic briefing by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Wajangandu, and in the briefing we feel that the briefing didn't give the hope to the pharmaceutical family or to the pharmaceutical sector in this country. We were expecting that the Minister of Finance is going to state exactly how much money they have paid the pharmaceutical companies who are supplying the drugs and who have stopped again supplying the same drugs to government institutions due to the money that has been owed to them. This has made also our members who work with these pharmaceutical companies to be retrenched and also to be turned like destitutes where they are not where they have lost their jobs. Not only that, we also expected that since this is the first economic briefing that the Minister of Finance did today, we expected him to also mention how far he has gone with the promise which he made in the 2020 budget. And one of the promises which he made on the 2020 budget, he said that they want to see to it that the pharmaceutical services in this country are provided 24/7. Now, in that, it has been failed to happen because there is a serious shortage of pharmacy personnel in government facilities. And we expected that as the minister was briefing the nation today, he would also mention how far they have gone in terms of recruiting the 1,000 pharmacy personnel whom we have.
Economist Mambo Hamaundu has discouraged government from borrowing to fund infrastructure projects. Mr. Hamaundu says Zambia is already in a debt trap, adding that if government resorts to borrowing to fund other projects, this will stress the treasury. Last week, a think tank, the Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, urged government to consider issuing infrastructure bonds to real estate investors in a bid to raise money to support the construction agenda.
We got the first 750 million euro bond. What we went out looking for was actually 500,000, but there was oversubscription. So it depends on how attractive we are as borrowers. But the way things are now, with with the high level of indebtedness of the country, I have my own misgivings as to whether it can really work out or not, unless we offer extremely or ridiculously high rates. That's when people will be attracted to give out, to lend money to the country by purchasing of those bonds. And of course, it will also depend on the maturity period for these particular bonds. But generally speaking, the challenge that we're faced with now economically is as a result of borrowing and not utilizing the money properly or putting money in wrong ventures. Some of them are saying we are unstable economically. So it's a bit difficult. The timing, we have to get the timing right if we have to, put this bond out on the market and try and get anything meaningful out of it. Otherwise, if we are not careful, we could even be digging another black hole, which is not what we want as a country. What we are trying to do now is to try and get out of the black hole. That is, try and deal with this debt problem that we have on one hand, and stimulate economic development. So the answer really lies also in prioritization of where we are spending our money as a country. You know, we need to prioritize where we're spending our money so that we try and get out of this bad economic situation we are in as a nation.
Government has dispatched 1,000 by 25 kilogram bags of mealie meal to Chimwemwe constituency on the Copperbelt. The mealie meal has since been distributed to vulnerable families. Blessings Malama has the rest of the details in the following report.
They have every reason to be happy and their smiles tell it all. These are residents of Chimwemwe Township in Kitwe who have received relief mealie meal. Government is currently distributing relief mealie meal to vulnerable persons in all the 156 constituencies countrywide. Respective parliamentarians have been tasked to distribute the mealie meal. And Chimwemwe constituency in Kitwe has received 1,000 bags of mealie meal from central government. And Chimwemwe constituency independent lawmaker Mwila Mutale has commended government for the gesture.
We are following the vulnerability. There could be people who are 7 years but are able to make their own, able to meet their needs, isn't it? But we are going for the vulnerable, irrespective of the age. Even the child-aided homes, but some homes which are aided by children. So those are top 10. So we are following vulnerability.
Mr. Mutale said the distribution of mealie meal to vulnerable households should not be misconstrued as a mere political campaign gimmick. Reporting for Kopala TV, I'm Blessings Malama.
A 50-member Spanish delegation is expected in the country in May this year. Tourism and Arts Minister Ronald Chitotela has said that the team from Spain intends to invest in the country's hospitality industry.
There's a huge delegation of people that want to invest in the tourism industry. So, as you may be aware, we're in Spain. We had a meeting with the operator of the Eurostar Hotel and some tour operators in Spain. Just last week we received our Consul General, the one who is in Spain, with 4 delegations, and he did indicate that in the month of May we are receiving over 50 delegations from Spain who are coming to look at the opportunities that are in the tourism sector, both in the southern segment and even from being the capital city, one of the cities that is going to play host to the Spanish delegation that will come, and the northern circuit. So we decided.
Kalulu CPF Member of Parliament Kampamba Mulenga says she is fully determined to deliver on all campaign promises. Ms. Mulenga, who has empowered a number of women groupings in her constituency, has pledged to lobby for more government support so that development is taken to the mining town. Blessings Malama reports once again.
Kalulu lawmaker Kampamba Mlenga Chewe has had a busy weekend. The parliamentarian has toured her constituency where she has officiated at a number of programs. Ms. Mulenga has attended the Pastors Fellowship Forum of Chambeshi. Here, Ms. Mulenga has discussed various issues with the clergy concerning youth unemployment, empowerment of young persons, and security, among others. Ms. Mulenga, who is also Community Development Minister, has also empowered the clergy with a donation of 100,000 kwacha. The money will assist members of the clergy to venture into different income-generating activities. After Chambeshi, Ms. Mulenga later visited the Kalulu General Hospital where a set of triplets had been born. The Kalulu MP then donated an assortment of baby items ranging from clothes, baby tubs to the newly born. She later donated bags of mealie meal, wheelchairs and an oil expaler to women and physically challenged.
Last time tuwalishile bamo balipokele bamutabapokele na lero natubwera bamo balapoka bamutabakapokele na kabiri tukabwera bamo bakapoka bamitabakatikashani tabakapoke.
The lawmaker has pledged to lobby government to ensure that all her campaign pledges are attained. Blessings Malama, Kopala TV, reporting.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. Now for our commercial break. Join us in a bit after this. Samaria Limited is a versatile company dedicated to meeting every need any of our customers may have. With us, you're guaranteed to have a pleasant and easy shopping experience with the best returns for your money's worth. We guarantee the best customer service in addition to the finest quality beverages at affordable prices. We have all your hardware requirements, from roofing sheets, wiring, piping, and much more. At Samaria Limited, we believe in good workmanship. Working well with one another is what gets our job done. Stationery is an essential. Whether it's a pencil for your personal drawings and designs, or a roll of paper for the company printer, we've got you covered. We stock various brands simply for your preference. We have an Airtel booth within our premises with airtime ready and available for all customers. We also offer Airtel Money services for easy money transactions and efficient clerks to attend to you, ensuring a fast and smooth procedure. If you're in need of any electronics, our store should be your go-to, with appliances ranging from household specifics to industrial commodities such as generators and inverters. If you need it, we have it. Our wholesale store stocks the best quality in food and other products, including cleaning necessities. And above all, our affordable prices ensure that you know how much we value you. You can find Samaria Limited along President Avenue North, opposite Zambia Railways in Dola, or call us on 0212 613 336 or 0212 619 992. Samaria Limited, your one-stop center for all you need.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back. Former UPND Vice President Geoffrey Mumba has insisted that NDC leader Chishimba Kambwili is rejoining the PF. Mr. Mwamba, who is also PF Deputy National Mobilization Chairperson, says he is still in talks with Dr. Kambwili to have him back in the PF. Mr. Mwamba has maintained that Dr. Kambwili did a lot for PF, hence the need for him to come back. And Mr. Mwamba says, given the chance, he would gladly accept any position in government.
Because those people hounded me up. I went there and I gained some experience from HS. and the experience I got there is to hate people. But the experience I'm getting from President Edgar Lungu is to love people. So, my dear brother, the NDC president is more than welcome. We still need him. In fact, you've just reminded me, after this I'll call him. I told him so that I'll tell him to come to PF. We need him, he's our brother. He's not our enemy. And politics aside, he's our brother. So I'll call him, you just reminded him. Thank you for that. How did it feel?
But NDC Lusaka Province Youth Chairperson Nachama Shimulinda says Dr. Kambwili is not going back to the PF. Mr. Shimulinda said Dr. Kambwili is currently preoccupied with organizing his political grouping, the NDC.
CK is NDC president, and he'll be on the ballot come 2021. Yes. So if the GBM continues attacking our president, attacks HH, we will not tolerate that. Yes. So he's supposed to lead by example. He's getting old, and this is the time us as youths, I think, should come together and unite, yes, and take over from such politicians like GBM who just keeps on yapping every day, which is totally unacceptable. We cannot allow that, and we will not allow that as NDC. We deserve respect, and our president deserves total respect from GBM. CK is not somebody you can play games with. Yeah, he's a strong man, and we will make sure as Lusaka youths will mobilize and see that CK is on the ballot paper come 2021. Yes.
PF member of the Central Committee, Kebi Mbewe, says the strategy being used by the opposition UPND to decamp the governing party on tribal lines will not work. Mr. Mbewe says the PF has always condemned tribal politics and wonders why the UPND wants to put the name of the governing party in bad light.
The UPND, they are very wrong to bring tribalism from their party to PF, because from reception we have been condemning tribalism ourselves as a party, and we are condemning what they do and what they in terms of tribalism. So they cannot decampaign us using tribalism, no, because they are the author of tribalism, they are the owners of tribalism. And as a party, and His Excellency the President Edgar Lungu, we've insisted to say we do not recognize tribalism in this country, because this is one Zambia and one nation. And I'll ask a question: have you ever heard any political leader from UPND saying one Zambia, one nation? They don't believe in that motto. But us as PF, that is our motto. And we have never been tribal. That is the truth.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. Join us after the break. Samaria Limited is a versatile company dedicated to meeting every need any of our customers may have. With us, you're guaranteed to have a pleasant and easy shopping experience with the best returns for your money's worth. We guarantee the best customer service in addition to the finest quality beverages at affordable prices. We have all your hardware requirements, from roofing sheets, wiring, piping, and much more. At Samaria Limited, we believe in good workmanship. Working well with one another is what gets our job done. Stationery is an essential. Whether it's a pencil for your personal drawings and designs, or a roll of paper for the company printer, we've got you covered. We stock various brands simply for your preference. We have an Airtel booth within our premises with airtime ready and available for all customers. We also offer Airtel Money services for easy money transactions and efficient clerks to attend to you, ensuring a fast and smooth procedure. If you're in need of any electronics, our store should be your go-to, with appliances ranging from household specifics to industrial commodities such as generators and inverters. If you need it, we have it. Our wholesale store stocks the best quality in food and other products, including cleaning necessities. And above all, our affordable prices ensure that you know how much we value you. You can find Samaria Limited along President Avenue North opposite Zambia Railways in Ndola, or call us on 0212 613 336 or 0212 619 992. Samaria Limited, your one-stop center for all you need.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back, and now to foreign news. China has been recorded as Africa's largest debt holder. The United States has issued several warnings regarding losing minerals and land rights to China if the said loans are not paid off on time. Al Jazeera has the rest of the details.
So just how big a role does China play across the African continent? Well, Beijing surpassed Washington as Africa's largest trading partner more than a decade ago. That relationship is worth around $200 billion a year in trade, according to China's Ministry of Commerce. Beijing is also financing power plants, roads and other infrastructure projects, handing out billions in loans each year to governments and state-owned entities across the continent. That's made China Africa's largest debt holder. The US has warned of Chinese debt traps that could see countries give up oil, minerals and land rights if they don't pay off their loans. Let's speak to political analyst and commentator on African affairs, Joseph Ochieno, who's with us live from London. Good to have you with us. Joseph, what do you make of Mike Pompeo's comments then? China's a dangerous influence on the African continent.
Adrian, that's rather rich. If China is a dangerous influence, then we can ask many questions. Who else is not? No, I think it is a cry which is rather unfortunate, rather almost hypocritical, isn't it? Pompeo talks about easy money. Now, if the Chinese money is not easy money, which one is? No, I think generally my concern would be that the US is realizing that they were playing games with Africa, but China came in fairly big. China comes with the minimum, if any, conditionalities, and the reality is that long-term China may beat the US and other nations on the African continent. My biggest concern, though, is, as the US President Barack Obama, former president that is, said, Africa's biggest challenge is lack of institutions. Had we on the continent had strong institutions, governments that are responsible and accountable, I think China would have been a very huge opportunity for the continent, particularly in the areas where China is at the moment, and that is investment in infrastructure, for which the continent is at a huge deficit. The issue is Chinese money, US money, in the profit motive and profit-driven global market today. Who provides you with the best deal? I think that's the issue. The issue then is that in the absence of basically a balancing act amongst African leaders, the Americans can actually shout at the moment and maybe hope that some of their allies will keep quiet.
But Pompeo does have a point, doesn't he, when he talks about corruption in Africa and undermining the rule of law. As to whether China is responsible for that, I suppose is debatable.
No, that's very true. Except that corruption in Africa is not about deals with the Chinese companies. It's rather a general question of patronage and, as I said, lack of institutions, Adrian. Western companies, have covered some of them, have been implicated in major corruption scandals on the African continent and patronage with African governments. I think that's the issue. I don't really think that the US can tell Africa that American companies, without detail, are necessarily the cleaner ones when it comes to the continent. Yes, there is big concern about the quality of Chinese investment beyond infrastructure and the manner in which Chinese companies, and in fact some of their personnel on the continent, treat and deal with Africans. I think that's a major concern. I've personally written some few pieces on this very particular matter. But generally, I think Africa is for grabs, unfortunately, and for me as an African, my concern is whether or not the opportunities that China offers, or the opportunities that now will emerge as a result of this apparent competition, is one in which African governments and African economic leaders are able to strategically pick and make the best deal for ordinary African people.
And what about this issue of debt? Pompeo calls it a Chinese debt trap. I mean, there are other countries in the world who've taken Chinese investment and found that they've lost control over those that infrastructure. Ports, for example, in Sri Lanka is one where China has got control of it because they couldn't repay the debt.
That's very real. I think that's very real, and it's very, very true. Just over a decade ago, Jubilee 2000 came to the rescue of many African governments because of lack of institutional systems and because of corruption and lack of accountable and democratic governments, many of which governments in Africa anyway have been fueled and supported by the US until today. You know, we are back sort of seeming to the same spot, and on that one, I think China might be able to have a much more freer hand than the West. At least in the US or in London, you can walk in the streets and then the voters are able to influence their governments to simply say that, look, you know, maybe let's have a debt relief. I don't know which way it will go for China. I think it's a very big risk for Africa that we're beginning to build a big amount of debt burden that, to me, I don't necessarily think that is necessarily going to be sustainable. Particularly the big risk is most of these debts, particularly because the loans are given to governments, most of whom don't have accounts, are not sufficiently accountable, with the exception perhaps in a way, perhaps maybe Nigeria, ironically I would say so, big recipients like Nigeria, South Africa, and Ethiopia. You know, in South Africa they talk about, you know, government taking over, you know, systems for which most of people are not able to very easily account to the ordinary citizenry.
Joseph, always good to talk to you. Many thanks indeed. Joseph Ochieno there in London.
Thanks for having me.
Various countries among the UN members who attended a gathering in Munich on Sunday have been supplying Libya with weapons, breaching the arms embargo which was put in place during a summit in Berlin last month. German authorities and UN senior officials said all culprits will be detected and named. Al Jazeera once again.
This was diplomacy's Groundhog Day. Foreign ministers and other representatives from 13 countries repeating the same thing their leaders said exactly 4 weeks ago at a summit in Berlin. But despite their words, arms have continued to flow to both sides in Libya, and showing what some might call great hypocrisy, the countries who are breaching the embargo are actually all among those here.
Mr. Foreign Minister, you talk about a deplorable breach of the arms embargo. We know who is breaching the arms embargo. They were in the room with you. What did you say to them?
Those who continue to breach the embargo need to know that they will be detected and they will be named. We will discuss that with the EU Council on Foreign Affairs tomorrow, and we will discuss the contribution the EU can make.
The arms embargo has become a joke, and so we all really need to step up here, and it is complicated because there are violations that are, happening on land, sea, and air. And that all needs to be monitored, and there needs to be accountability, ultimately.
Attention will now move to Geneva. The other problem, apart from the breaches of the arms embargo, is the lack of a ceasefire. Talks at the UN's European headquarters between representatives of General Haftar and those of the internationally recognised government resume on Tuesday. The UN have ambitious plans to keep the diplomatic momentum moving. They've put in the diary a date of the 26th of February for talks with all the Libyan political parties. And then the plan is for elections brokered by the UN. That's if there's a ceasefire, and that remains a very big if. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Munich.
That ends the Kopala TV main news, but before we go, we take a look at the headlines once again. Government urged to clear the 1 billion kwacha debt owed to local pharmaceutical firms. Economist discourages government from borrowing. GBM insists on Kambuli going back to the PF. And Chimwemwe constituency receives over 1,000 bags of relief mealie meal. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. My name is Wawila Musongole and enjoy the rest of your day.